Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network Rewind review, where we sit down and talk about some of our favorite film franchises of the past. On this season, we are talking about the magical world of Harry Potter. On this episode, we are discussing Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Anthony Gooch Ragucci.
I did my time! 12 years of it!
Casey Wellman.
You.
And Mr. Matthew Penza.
Yo, what's up?
Welcome back, gentlemen. It's good to be back. We did this a lot quicker than we did in between Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets.
But you don't know that.
But you don't know that. It feels like these are
behind
just
the
coming
scenes
out.
content. Yeah.
But anyways, let's get right into it, guys. All right, Prisoner of Azkaban, released originally June 4th, 2004.
Post 9/11,
Post 9/11 world.
You're going to say that for every single movie.
Post
Post
9/11.
9/11.
12 years post 9/11. Yeah.
I thought this was going to be PG-13 after watching it. After looking it up, this is still a PG movie.
If you asked me, I would have said PG.
Right?
Even with the body horror,
Apparently, that's true.
you know?
I think that's cartoonish enough for them
Very
to be
good
like
practical effects. No.
they
But
really did
no,
that.
that surprised me. I genuinely thought this was going to be PG-13. With a production budget of $130 million, the box office raked in about 6.1 times that amount. So pretty good. Opening weekend had a 93 million. Yeah, that's correct. I don't know why that seems high to me, but that's how much. Yeah, 93 million and some change, and that's about 30% of its total gross.
I would have thought you were going to say that.
It's lower. It's actually more than.
It's more than half the budget.
It is, and it's more than Sorcerer's Stone. How did that get mixed
But either
up
way,
like that?
I guess I just think of how big it is now.
I remember growing up, a lot of times these movies came out Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was. This was in November too. Yeah.
Were they all like that?
For the first two were both November.
But every Thanksgiving, pretty much, we would see.
Do you remember going with
Harry Potter?
Yes.
Like the last
I
movie?
saw Prisoner of Azkaban with you. 100%.
Oh, I'm talking about the last movie.
Oh,
Even down to the end of it, we
Jesus,
went
you're
like
not.
we slept over at my house, and we went to that, and then slept over at my house. But yeah.
So
you were correct.
yes, I was correct, and
okay.
that's more than Chamber of Secrets brought in on its opening weekend. Chamber of Secrets was 88 million.
That trash can.
Yeah, and then with a total box office around the same as Chamber of Secrets, about 700. Oh no, I'm sorry, it is less. 789.5 million. So that's
less
life.
than Chamber of Secrets?
Yes, it is. Chamber of Secrets.
Wouldn't have pegged that.
I would have just imagined, like, as we keep going on,
Chamber
the
of
movies...
Secrets was 875
Right.
million.
More.
But remember, these are lifetime. That's lifetime box office. So I think really going by the opening weekend is kind of the best way to look at it.
How excited people at the time were for it. Yeah.
So the opening weekend, was more for Chamber of Secrets than it was, or I'm sorry, for Prisoner of Azkaban than it was for Chamber of Secrets. This was directed by Alfonso Cuarón.
Columbus is out.
Columbus is out.
He's a producer.
And
still.
on this one, but later ones he's not.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, the novel is, of course, written by J.K. Rowling with the screenplay still by Steve Kloves. So that's been staying pretty consistent. And for your description, as always, this one I think might be the best one I've seen on IMDb yet, at least comparatively. Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione return to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry for their third year of study, where they delve into the mysteries surrounding an escaped prisoner who poses a dangerous threat to the young wizard.
Oh yeah, that's
like a good that's
one.
actually tells you what's going on.
That's genuinely.
I mean, they mentioned
quality.
Hogwarts like they did.
I know.
Like the second one, they acted
Hold on. Let's go back to.
If you read it and I didn't know what we were doing, I'd be like, "What movie is that?"
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I read an ancient prophecy seems to be coming true when a mysterious presence begins to stalk the corridors of the magical school at night.
Yeah, like they don't even mention.
There's not even any sort of touchstone there.
Clues.
Whatever, it doesn't even matter.
Any
main characters,
Genuinely.
location, nothing. Yeah,
there's nothing. So, gentlemen, we're here. We're here to talk about the review, of course. What did we think of the Prisoner of Azkaban? Gooch, start us off.
I liked it. I think I feel like I'm kind of a broken record. Takes the best of Sorcerer's Stone, takes the best of Chamber of Secrets, kind of smashes them together, and then it falls apart at the end. The time turner part. I don't know.
That's like one of my favorite.
I think it was just I got bored. Like I'm like this is a rewatch for me, so I didn't really feel this way beforehand. But for some reason, this time turner part, this time around, I was just like, I am not feeling this.
Maybe because you know it's coming.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Because I know
into
we're
it,
building up to
I'm
it.
wondering if you just know what's coming, so it's
Right,
okay,
and again, this is a rewatch, not a first-time
Yep,
viewing.
yep.
So, take that into account for sure with that opinion.
Absolutely.
I think, it is a little bit of a hot take on that. But yeah, I mean, we get more classes. We get a lot more classes than we did in Chamber of Secrets, a la Sorcerer's Stone. So we're actually like at Hogwarts doing Hogwarts things. We don't really have a main villain, which is really interesting. Like, even at the end, I was like, this movie, like...
You kind of have more of an objective.
They tell you Sirius Black is bad, but they never show you Sirius Black is bad, and then you find out he's not.
Is that a MacGuffin?
A
Sirius
Seriously?
Black?
MacGuffin? Not necessarily. A
be?
MacGuffin
No.
would be like...
They're not chasing... Well, they
A
are...
MacGuffin is like, we need
They're
to get
running
the...
away from
We
Sirius
need
Black.
to get from point A to point B, so we need to put something in to get there.
Yeah,
Is
like
that
it's like
Sirius
it's
Black
like
though
the,
in this case?
No.
I'm looking up the
This is
definition
me.
of a
This is me
MacGuffin.
not
It's
totally
an item.
understanding.
A MacGuffin is an
MacGuffin
item that
term.
people are going
It
after.
doesn't have to be an item. I
In
don't think.
fiction, a MacGuffin is an object or device or an
Okay.
event that is
Yeah,
necessary
okay.
to the plot to motivate the characters, but insignificant and unimportant and irrelevant
Sirius Black
itself.
is not a
So
I
I
would
would
say
say
he's not.
no.
Yeah.
No, it's
I'm
like
trying to
something-
think of an example
The
from
first
another
half
movie
of
that
that
I've recently
description,
started.
yes,
Oh,
but
no.
not the.
Like I'm trying to think, what was a MacGuffin?
No. I got one for you right here.
Give it to me.
In
Sorcerer's Stone's a MacGuffin.
in The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
The
No, it's
fucking...
not. No,
the
it's not.
dagger.
The dagger.
Yeah, the dagger. That would be
is
a MacGuffin.
The Sorcerer's Stone's not a
It's not a
MacGuffin.
MacGuffin.
No, the stuff in
No.
the Sorcerer's
No.
Stone's not a MacGuffin. Because
But
again, that's
at this
integral
point-
to the story.
At
Yeah.
this point, it's a MacGuffin. As a viewer,
maybe.
as a viewer, isn't.
I
it's
would
not
agree.
relevant
Based on this
past-
definition, I
Yeah,
would disagree.
we won't see it for a while.
Right.
But that was,
That's
I
the
guess that
long
was
game. That's the end
significant to
game.
that movie, though. I guess is the thing. But
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I guess which.
I guess.
I see
So,
what you're saying.
and I think this is like a little bit better
Sure.
than Chamber of Secrets. Not as good as Sorcerer's Stone. I do really like this movie much better than Chamber, though. Like
Interesting.
as a whole, this movie is much better. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else.
Well, we'll dive into some specific parts soon.
Right.
Too, yeah.
Penza, how you feeling on the rewatch?
I love this movie. I love this book a lot. I bounce back and forth whether it is my favorite of both all the time. Sirius Black is my favorite character, so I'm always gonna hold
Gary Oldman, unrecognizable as himself
Oh, he's-
in this movie.
yeah,
For
he's
some
incredible.
reason, I watched this and I didn't know it was Gary Oldman for as a kid
Sure.
and like up
Yeah,
until
man,
being
I
an
probably
adult.
didn't either.
2004.
And every
Yeah.
time I see him, I'm like, he doesn't give me typical Gary Oldman vibes in this role.
Yeah, he's
a great
much
actor.
much younger.
You probably didn't know who he
2004.
was when we were
Yeah.
in
Right.
third
That
grade.
was
That
it
too,
too.
definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love this movie, and like we're finally getting they don't feel like kids, especially in the movie.
We're officially in the teenage
yeah,
era.
they don't feel like
Yeah.
kids, like it's. I don't know. I like I said, I'm always gonna bounce in between this and maybe Order of the Phoenix. Between my favorite
Okay.
books and or movie wise, and Deadly Hallows is awesome too, but it's on TV all the time, so I kind of get tired of it.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
And to be expected. It's
Yeah.
like the finale.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Casey, what did you think?
Pretty much, a lot of points you guys have made, not specifically anything, but like just overall agree that it's a really good step from the previous ones. Huge tonal change throughout the series.
Oh
Like-
yeah,
Like you didn't know it at the time. I mean, well, you did, but it seriously sets the pace for the rest of the movies.
Yeah,
like
seriously?
seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
It seriously black sets the pace for the rest of the movies. Like, overall, I was watching it even like nothing to do with the plot, like just the visuals, like the darker theme
Yes,
of
it
everything.
it's like a
Scottish
it's like a
Highlands.
dark
The whole movie
blue.
definitely is
misty,
darker.
dark. Like
feels like it has like a dark
overcast,
blue over it. The entire movie.
everything
There's
Yeah.
starts to
definitely a
take
blue
that-
wash
even
over it.
when
Like
he's in
it's like
the-
a tint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when Harry's walking, he leaves Privet Drive. Like even in the beginning, like it's
nighttime.
a darker, like muggier,
Raining.
kind of. Yeah, exactly. So, you kind of, it's like the writing on the wall when you're looking at that. You're like, oh, this is gonna be a darker tone than the rest of it, and then like we'll get into like what the whole rest of the movie gets into, like heavier themes than like the jolly kids at school and all that stuff. Like
Voldemort. Right, in the first one, and then Snake.
Right, but they're kids.
Now it's like, like it's
Yeah.
it's more of a person.
And
what are
they-
you pointing at?
Why did we turn the fan off?
and they.
Damn
They,
it. Anyways, continue.
To your point about them being like teens, like they're treated more like adults in this one, like for sure. You don't think of them as like preteens, I guess, because they're not. But like the first ones, they're almost like infantile in a way, and then in this one they're much more mature.
I want to jump off that point. It's a great point, and I think you see that they're also their age represented in their clothing.
Totally.
Stereotypically British teens, their ties are really short. They're totally undone. The first 2 buttons are undone. Like they're third years, and you can tell they are.
And that was one of the. At the time, I remember thinking it was weird that they allowed them to do the civilian clothes
That
at school.
too, yeah.
But, because I remember that change was like a big deal to people when the director switched over, and Alfonso whatever made that call. But looking back, I'm like, that was a necessary change because even though it's not in the book that I
So
recall,
actually,
like
to go off that, this fun fact. Where is it? Yeah. So he did, like you're saying, he had an idea to have them wear more everyday outfits other than their Hogwarts clothing uniforms in order to show their personality. He also gave the Hogwarts students permission to wear their uniforms any way you wanted to basically make everyone seem more personal. Like, some people would be...
So the cast could do
Typical-
that?
So, like, basically,
Typical
like, so,
British
yeah, when they're wearing,
students.
like, they like the extras, they'd be like, wear it how you want to wear it. Like, how
That's
you
really
think you would
cool.
wear it. So
I
that's
didn't-
like
I didn't
that.
know
Like,
that.
some people has, like, some stuff untucked. Some people,
Yeah.
like...
And you really
their
see it
collars
in
askew.
the hippogriff class. Scene.
No, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like they're
Absolutely.
they all look like they're fucking like British preteen teenage
like
punks.
the backhand of Harry's tie is like lower than the front.
Yeah. And then there's
I'm like,
one
what the
kid
hell?
with literally his tie is like right here.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm like and like very British,
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't.
influence there. Really? What?
I'm just laughing. You say British, and I'm like, I don't know.
Because
They're disgusting, unorderly fucks.
Well, dude, I think if you
Yeah, no,
let me
love
explain.
British
Like
I think it's just like very private school attire.
right, but specifically the way the
Yeah.
way the British you see what in pop culture with like punk and stuff, like they dressed like that, and as like
I'll give
more
you
of like
that.
a statement. Like American teenagers won't drastically like wear their ties in like ridiculous fashions like that. That's not American.
Having,
Well, but that's 'cause
having
most
gone
people-
to private school.
Yeah,
though,
yeah, like,
we
when
get
you go to
away with
private
what
school.
you can. You get away with
Yeah,
what
we
you
went to
can.
we,
So, like,
two
if
of
we
us
were-
went to public school.
Yeah.
I mean, private schools where to wear ties every day. It was
If you were given the
similar.
opportunity in a class and a teacher
I
that
think
didn't care, you would.
I think
Yeah.
it's
So like
for-
Hagrid, that's actually it's a credit to the movie.
It's
like,
a uniquely
Hagrid's, like,
British
a very
thing, in my
lax
opinion.
setting.
Yeah.
I don't...
I,
But I
I
don't see
saw
how
that.
it is.
I saw it at we went to Catholic school and we saw it. Like
Yeah.
when you
I went to
could.
college, yeah.
Stomping your heels
Some
down.
teachers would
yeah,
like,
but
you know,
in
it's
high
like,
school, we didn't go in high school.
But again,
No, we
but that's
did
what I'm
in high
saying. We
school.
don't have like
You're
private
right. That's
school.
what I'm saying.
But I
Yeah.
mean, we Americans, like, there's like there's so many people would wear insane shit to school all the
I
time.
feel like somebody like totally understands what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying,
but I
it's-
just don't think it's
Like,
I think we're
you
like-
don't see it as American because you didn't attend that. But I get what you're saying because there's a lot of British portrayal of like kids in like
boarding schools
Yeah,
and
boarding
such, and,
school
yeah.
attire, you know,
Right,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
you're thinking
they-
of young
they're-
James
and-
Bond shit, like
Right,
Yeah, I get
exactly.
what you're
That's
saying.
exactly what I'm
I
trying
get what
to
you're saying,
say.
but we're just being the counter argument to that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's teens.
No, I
Like,
would just I would exactly. I would say
expressing
that
their
is a teen
individuality,
thing
that
more
kind
than
of
like.
thing.
and
I-
maybe I
personally
just
like
more
that.
associate like the
No, it's where
the-
you've seen it most is
the tie
in,
and the dress.
It is
for-
probably in like these high school shows or movies that have British
yeah.
kids because
right.
makes- yeah, that
exactly.
makes sense. That
but
makes
like
sense.
But I
we're-
think that is based off reality. I don't think it's totally.
No, absolutely. But
fiction.
I don't think that's only.
Don't have bad ideas anymore.
I'm just saying like,
I
like
get
it
what you're- I
happens.
do
It
get what you're
happens
saying.
in the U.S. private and Catholic school too. Scene.
Anyway, where was I? We were talking about how
Wrong.
their youth in the clothing, right?
Yeah.
With and
Yeah.
them
But,
being in civvies,
Becoming
which I
more
like.
exactly.
individualistic, not just like
No,
the
and I
students,
thought
yeah.
again, reading more on Alfonso during this, I felt like he really kind of grasped it very well. And I'll get more into the fun facts later. I just
What else is he
he
directing?
seemed I don't know. I actually really don't know. But he just seemed to like really kind of want to grasp what he was taking care of, and it was great. But overall, I mean, I thought the movie was awesome. I think the shits on the first two. Like takes a wet, sloppy
Yeah,
dump
I
on them.
think I think it's like a big step.
Like,
especially
you said one's the best though.
I still think. I think
like
one has a lot of
pacing
charm.
wise,
I agree.
just actors wise,
Yeah,
I feel like everyone. I know last time I said I felt like they were settling into their characters, but this time truly like they're Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Even
and
Malfoy's Malfoy.
Malfoy's
like,
Malfoy.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone's really great on
some
screen, and
new
I feel like they've
Slytherin
mastered their craft to a degree. And just like I said, pacing wise, I feel like this does move at a clip, especially compared to like the last two, Sorcerer's Stone or or Chamber of Secrets for some reason really dragged for me. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
You
But,
know
Was it
why? Because
almost
they're
3
setting
hours,
up.
2.5?
They're setting up
Yeah.
the ending from the get go.
No, exactly. And
Like
I just-
literally, like the first thing that happens.
No,
it's
it's
like
true.
The whole movie is setting up the end. In this, we just know Sirius Black is out of Azkaban and a threat to Hogwarts, and the Dementors are around, and that's kind of it. And
no,
they kind
I
of
think
go
they do
about
a good job
school
of doing that
with
too.
that being the thing, but they don't really get to the plot of it, to the point of the movie until the very, very end.
No, and I think that does come from like what you said earlier of there is a villain in Sirius Black, and the idea is but it's the switch.
Yeah.
Obviously we get that at the end. The only scene that really does annoy me with that, and I feel like it's brought up and probably to death, but is when he is first introduced and he goes in to see Harry, and they're like. I feel like they're both acting overly sinister for no reason. Like until it's revealed that
Remus
they're not.
and
Lupin
Sirius.
and-
Yeah,
Serious,
until it
yeah.
reveals that they are actually, and then I feel like Sirius
No,
is
they
all
are.
manic and like we gotta get him, and then they're sitting outside on the log. He's like, Harry, if you want to live with me, you could totally do.
Yeah,
that. It just felt
yeah,
like a very
Sirius'
odd
tone,
juxtaposition.
abrupt.
Yeah,
Right,
very.
yeah.
I
Change
felt
of
like they were.
gears, sure.
I think it would have worked better if they did walk in and from the get go, like I said, the tone felt sinister, even though they were the good guys.
I always
and trying
wonder
to be
why,
good.
to your point, they don't just explain themselves
Immediately.
It's
Like, just come in, yeah.
But at the same time,
It's
like this
for
is your
the-
best
Sirius
friend
being
from
crazy
12
makes
years
sense.
old. You're like
No,
decided
it's
to
true.
do it, but yeah,
I just think you don't come in there with
Yeah,
give me the rat,
yeah.
but
lunacy.
yeah.
lunacy.
Yeah, but like
get that.
he's been in prison for 12 years.
And that's where I did think about
And
that. So
he
I
did
was
his
kind of
waiting.
like,
Yeah.
but I think
12 years of it.
I would have accepted that more if he was still outside, kind of tweaking.
mean, yes
You know what
and
I
no,
mean? Like,
but-
hey Harry, I love you, man, but
How
you wanna
much?
hang out?
How much in the books do they talk about how often he was out of Azkaban?
Wait, say again. How long? Like
How-
how long he had been out?
No, because you know how he has like his loophole with how he can get past the
Dementors.
Dementors.
Yeah, I mean, I know how he does it ultimately. Are you
Yeah.
saying he did it more than once?
That's what I can't remember if that was not a regular thing, but if it wasn't like, cause I'm not entirely sure if he was there 12 years straight or if he bounced.
See, I always thought it was the one escape.
That was
And
it?
then Yeah, I
Okay.
never even
All
thought
right.
of that.
So
That
I
opens,
forget-
like,
I
that's a whole
forget.
different
So
dynamic.
do they-
though,
do
if
I
it
they
was-
forget.
if it
explain-
was
I
multiple.
completely
Do they
forget.
explain
I
in
think
the
that's probably
books
accurate.
how he gets past the Dementors? Because they seem to they totally
Yeah, they
gloss
gloss
over
over
that.
it. But
Yeah,
they
it's
do.
like it's like one of my favorite.
But I feel like they do.
Moments.
They do. I mean, that's how I know how
You
they
can
do it.
fill
In the
him in.
book.
I think it's so cool.
It's because he turns and he's an
Yeah.
animagus, right, or whatever, and,
Oh,
and he's
it's
not
turning-
registered.
It's turning
yeah,
into the
so
wolf.
so the mentors can't like sense his almost I guess his
The animalistic
humanity
side, I guess,
or
yeah.
whatever when he transforms, and that's how he's able to escape. Because the mentors, I believe, they can't see but they can sense.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
they're blind.
Yeah.
Conventionally, like no eyesight.
So like when he transforms, they can't tell that one that he's not there, I guess, or also that when he goes pop by him that he is.
And he also, I think they comment on his loss of weight, like he stopped eating and all that.
Oh,
So
he
likes-
totally looks
I think. Well,
malnourished,
no, I'm
yeah.
saying like I think that was
I mean, it looks like he's been
pivotal
in
might be the
prison.
word I'm looking for, but like it was instrumental in his escape. Was like him losing weight, slipping through bars as his animagus form. Like
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So,
so
he's
he
trying
could,
to
like,
make his
get
dog
out.
form even.
yeah.
has-
So because I guess apparently there's that relation, like you
Yeah.
don't just turn into the same size animal. I
That
guess
makes
it's
sense.
A reflection.
No,
of
that
your
makes
human
well. Yeah,
self,
it's like
but-
you're as heavy
yeah.
as a human as you as an animal. Yeah.
So he does that and gets out that
that makes sense. No, that's
so they-
kind of what I
and
gathered
to
from
Matt's
the
point,
movie.
They
yeah.
can't detect him as an animal,
Interesting.
apparently. Yeah.
Maybe it was just like my curiosity. I guess it just was that one big escape. I always wondered. I was like, I wonder if he did it more often or like
Than
tried it.
once.
Yeah, and I never
Yeah.
thought of it that way, but I'm like, well, shit.
I guess he would have been more.
I feel like
Why
I had
would you
a
go
question
back?
more-
Would be my curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
unless
that's
you were
the-
exploring Azkaban to
Yeah.
figure out what was
Yeah.
going
So
on.
this might be a far in the later movies. When does he get like acquitted of his crimes or no?
No, he doesn't.
He's always on the run.
I don't think he does. Like the people who matter know. that
Of course,
he's-
like he said in
With
this,
yeah,
yeah.
the
Dumbledore-
Ministry of
Dumbledore.
the Ministry of Magic.
Dumbledore's
still think-
army
Yeah.
obviously knows, and we'll get into that later. But
Right.
The Ministry of
But
Magic still thinks
he's
he
still
remains,
always, yeah, like a
he
fugitive.
remains in hiding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
which we'll get to in the next 3 minutes.
what I was gonna say, Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah, Corion, something like that.
He also written and directed Gravity.
Oh,
No
wow.
shit.
Yep.
Interesting.
He won 7 Oscars for that.
Did they really?
Children
Did that
of
really win that much?
Yeah, a lot for like cinematography.
That's so. Oh, well, that
shit.
makes sense. Actually,
He
yeah.
also directed
Sandy
Children of
Bean.
Men.
Wow.
And
Oh,
wrote it-
really? With what's his name? The which
Clive
one? Of the
Owen?
yeah.
Yep.
Holy shit.
And he also
And
wrote
what's- God,
and
what's
directed
her name?
Roma, which won He won 3 Academy Awards for that. One of them was Best Director.
Dude, again, I think
Wow.
I genuinely
He
think
He
like,
has double-digit Oscar wins.
I think
Up
having
there
him
with
on
all
this
time,
project
for sure.
made all the difference. Genuinely, like I felt the difference in this
None
movie
of
when
these
I
have
watched it.
Oscars, do they?
No, I doubt it.
I could see,
think,
like,
no,
score-
no, no,
I could see,
no,
like,
no,
score
no.
or
They
something
definitely
like
have
that.
it for like maybe costumes or editing or something
Okay.
before.
For
I
Harry
know, I
Potter?
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about.
What did we think of the hippogriff scene? That really stood out to me, to be honest,
That-
because
Yeah.
it looks,
That's the
it
leap.
still holds up
Buckbeak
so
looks
well.
great.
That's the
He looks
leap
awesome.
from Chamber
Yeah.
of Secrets
No,
to
absolutely,
that,
you're
like
right.
that CGI or whatever.
Even
that,
the
you
way
know.
he was interacting with it, I was incredibly surprised at how great it looked.
Yeah,
I was
still looks
trying
good.
to be,
It really was awesome.
I was trying to be critical of that because I knew that you guys were
Of
going
course.
to
Yeah.
have one way or the other comments about
For
that.
sure.
Like I was trying to look at it like
it
No,
looks good.
it-
I was
still
trying to
holds
pick it
up
apart so
perfectly.
I could
No,
get
yeah,
what you
absolutely.
were saying, and I'm like, damn, this is
Yeah.
No, it
Sean.
still
Yeah.
looked great. It really did. And just the whole scene of him going across the lake, and it's like,
Yeah.
the
so.
The
In the,
things
just as in like
Yeah.
aside of that, like in the book, they just don't go up, they fly around the forest,
Yeah, it's like
and come
not-
back
it's like
down.
not
again.
a-
It's not
there's
really
not
a
a
big deal.
moment.
But I love that like
They-
they
that's-
give you a tour of the grounds of Hogwarts.
That's cool.
Organically.
No, it's
like
awesome.
that,
We
you
have
know?
it's
we have
genius.
some new
Not forced,
additions.
but-
One in the steps down to Hagrid's house, the stones
yep.
outside, the courtyard, the astrology tower, and I think that's it. The Whomping Willow is in a different part
Probably
of the
so.
school than it is in the second one.
I'll have some fun facts
Because
relating
in
to
the
that
second
later,
one,
actually.
it's inside the walls. In the
Yeah.
second one, in this one, it's on the outskirts.
They
which is
changed
how
up
I
some of
remembered
the.
it.
They changed up some of the. I'll talk about it a little bit more later. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess I could jump.
Astute,
Nah,
Yeah. You wanna
can-
wait
you
for the
can-
fun facts?
Yeah,
Okay.
just hold it.
astute observations. Though.
But no, yeah, I agree. I thought that was very
and Hogsmeade.
very great.
I have a question about Hogsmeade. Is it just so it is a strictly wizarding town?
yes.
What is the town that Hermione mentions that like rums something?
Duff something, I think.
Dufftown.
Dufftown. Because I actually looked this
She
up.
mentions it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that?
It's an actual town in Scotland.
Ah,
Because that's where
okay.
Hogwarts is Scotland.
Scotland,
Like
yeah.
Scottish Highlands or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know
So I don't know. They don't ever say where, but I looked it up because I'm like, I'm curious.
not
if
a ton
this
of
is where
Scottish
Dufftown
accents.
is. Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Cool.
interesting.
Good to know.
Right.
Yeah, because I was like,
Yeah.
You're late.
Come on, laddie.
yeah, it was really. I was like, she like drops that, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever heard that name before.
But a cool, not deep cut, but a cut.
So,
you know, you're like, oh shit.
going back to the conversation we were having earlier, did we see Prisoner of Azkaban together?
We saw it, dude. Pius played it. Do you remember when Pius in the auditorium played Prisoner of Azkaban on like the VHS TV stacked on top of the mobile tower thing?
They did.
Like, remember the classroom VHS setup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pius, we watched it in the auditorium. I think it was multiple grades.
Possibly.
We were in 3rd or 4th grade. I forget. 2004 it would have been. When did it come out in 2004? What month?
June 4th. So it's
Dude,
like
we
summer.
might have watched it at the end of the school year.
Probably.
Of
That
fourth,
makes
of
sense.
third
Maybe we
grade.
did.
Of
Yeah.
third grade, and you would have been end of second.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, dude, because I'm positive at Pius in the auditorium. I watched Prisoner of Azkaban. There's no doubt in my mind. We saw it
don't
in
remember.
there, but
No,
but
we-
that's the
I
release.
saw it in
so,
theaters.
So that's what I'm saying. That's the release. Like we wouldn't have had the
Yeah, you wouldn't have had the
VHS,
THS after
But
that.
I know
yeah.
for a fact we watched it
Like
at school
later.
one time.
Yeah.
Which,
So,
on the way
could've-
over here, I'm thinking about. The church was like not about Harry Potter, so I was like,
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting.
No,
we
that is
watched-
funny.
But I
Yeah.
know for a fact we watched
Witches.
it and we were talking about Hermione at that age. When
Right,
we were
and
like,
that's where
what
I'm
the
going.
Fuck? What
So
the fuck?
I
She's
have
like,
I have
yeah.
a vivid memory, like fucking crystal clear memory.
We probably did see it in
of
theaters.
being
Go ahead.
in Regal Edgemont where I used to work, watching Prisoner of Azkaban, and the scene where Hermione punches Draco in the face, and everyone cheered.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, was when I was like, "Wow, Hermione's really fucking hot." As a 9-year-old,
Yeah.
9-year-old,
I
as a
don't even-
as a
That's
fair.
9-year-old,
And
I am pretty confident Hermione Granger.
You
was,
had this
was
thought
my
as a
sexual
9-year-old.
awakening.
That
Yeah.
definitely plays into my like appreciation of this movie because it's definitely the one that I remember the most. Like
I agree.
2001 and 2. Like what do I remember from 2001? Mississippi and 9/11. Like not good,
Yeah,
not
no,
good things,
yeah.
but like
Shout out to Mrs. Sister,
yeah.
our
And
first
then,
grade
like,
teacher.
but I feel like I have a more clear memory of like the effect
This is really a
movie had.
Absolutely.
And I was reading the books at this point.
yeah,
like I was.
You
into
could
them. I
you
can
could truly
remember that.
comprehend what was going
Yeah,
on. Much
yeah.
more.
I think I saw both Chamber Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone in theaters with my family, but I think Prisoner was the first time, like again, like
We
why-
probably saw it for someone's birthday.
yeah, but it was in June.
We saw
so,
Hellboy for your birthday, right?
Yeah, but
Dude, it might have been Kenny Meyer's birthday.
You
that we
think?
saw a Harry Potter movie.
You think?
I'm almost positive. Now that I'm saying it out loud.
Bleep out that name. We don't want anyone to get.
Myers Electric.
doc.
I think I'll say Casey's right because I definitely saw it in theaters with friends.
Sure.
Specifically.
I don't
Yeah.
remember where I
But
saw it.
I wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised. if
Acquaintances.
that's-
I'm very glad we figured this out.
Emma Watson opened my mind, baby. Let me tell you
Yeah,
that as a
I'm
9-year-old.
trying to
I
think
really
which.
don't know when I would have seen it. I feel like I probably saw it on DVD.
No, I for sure saw it in theaters, but I'm trying to think what.
I know I saw
What
Goblet of
m-
Fire in theaters.
Maybe it was leading up to Goblet of Fire or Goblet of Fire when I started reading because I went to the midnight releases of like the last.
You always went
three.
to the midnight
Yeah.
releases, didn't you?
Yeah, I went-
And that's back
no,
when they
no,
were
no, I'm
midnight
sorry.
releases.
Yeah.
I
by
went
the
to the
way.
midnight
Yeah.
releases
Oh,
of the books
Yep.
coming out.
Cool guy over
Not
here.
Nerd.
I went to the last two midnight release, last three, I guess, because Deathly Hallows is two for the movies.
Right.
Yeah.
But I went to at least the last three of the midnight releases at Barnes and Noble in,
Yep.
in,
In Lawrence Park.
In Broomall.
Lawrence
right?
Park Shopping
Yeah.
Center.
Still there.
5, 6, and 7. That's what I
Yep.
caught there.
I was there
Yeah.
recently, actually.
I haven't been there in a while. I love going to Barnes and Noble.
I might go there today from here just because.
So I don't mean to diverge, but you said the astrology tower. It was cool to see that. I have a question about that lady.
What,
Sure.
like
Does she not know that she can give prophecy? Like, is she like? Does she think she's like? Is she
Emma
faking
Roberts?
it? And like, she doesn't know that she can do
Like-
prophecies
I think
It's
no,
not-
but
Professor Trelawney.
It's
because
not,
she's seeing like the way it reads off to me is she's making fake prophecies to people. But then when
I
she
don't think
actually
so.
does like a real like when she like has that
So I
thing with
think-
Harry and she does the whole thing, she's like,
yeah.
oh, what happened? What's up?
No,
You okay?
I think all of her stuff is real.
I don't. Oh well, no. Like when she's got.
And I know Hermione's like having absolutely none of it.
I'm pretty confident that's the whole.
So
idea, like,
I
that
think-
I was
I think
seeing
part of it
because I was looking it
was-
up because I was so confused. I was like, she
was-
doesn't seem to be aware that she's doing that.
I think part of it was just the kind of like the gravity of Harry's.
Sure,
So it kind of
Freaked her out.
not just that,
but
but
it's like she didn't even know what happened.
I think for
And I feel like doesn't that happen
I think
again?
I think for most, the way I read it was most of these like little, not prophecies, but I don't know what the right term is.
Divinations. Or
Yeah, like projections that they get when they do it are like not meaningless, but they're
inconsequential.
They can be
Like,
interpreted.
It's like when you go to a what's it called, and they're like, oh,
Fortune cookie, or
fortune
something.
teller,
a
or
fortune
psychic.
teller, and they're like, oh, an older woman is calling to you. Did you have a grandma that died? And like, a lot of people
Yeah.
probably have a grandma that died.
So
Nine
according to
times
this
out of
Reddit,
10.
she does not know.
yeah, so I think it was just
Yeah.
like,
So
Wow.
she like
Harry-
is not aware that she thinks she's a,
So
she like believes she's
Yeah.
doing this like as a like and Dumbledore knows that she's real.
So I'd be curious
And,
to
like,
like read that.
yeah, like, see how it
thread,
goes.
but the thread that you're talking about,
Yeah.
because as I would have imagined it was that she thinks based on success of certain prophecies that she's given, that she thinks everything she says is like she's the seer. She can like like classic like Greek mythology seers
Interesting.
and
Do we
oracles
see
and all that,
Trelawney
like,
again?
yeah, she gets,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
gets
she
kicked
comes up.
out in.
By fuck.
5. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she gets
back. She's
fired.
definitely in the 5th.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, and obviously we're talking about the classes. And
she is one of the most important characters in the series.
Because
by
she
the
gives
way.
the original
like,
prophecy,
yes,
right?
she's
yeah,
like
yeah. That's the thing. Yeah.
that affects
What, the
more
boy
than
who
just
lived
Harry.
prophecy?
Like,
Uh-huh,
yeah,
I think so.
You know.
did they talk about that?
In the books more, I think.
And
I don't think in the movies.
I want to
really
say
that
it's
much.
the 5th or the 6th book that they.
We'll get
it's the
to it.
5th
Well, they
book.
talk
It's
about
the
the
fifth,
prophecy,
that's
right?
right,
In
yeah.
the fifth one,
Prophecies,
isn't
yeah.
that the whole thing where
Yeah.
they go to the like that?
Push
whole-
your
Yeah,
mic.
no, but my whole I,
good,
I think
good.
it's just because of like
But
the
thank you.
the image that Harry got was like so not just extreme, but so like I guess negative's not the right word, but it was such like a
It was so
rare.
It's like
overwhelming.
it's like
yeah,
bad
and it was
news.
just like
It spreads quick.
yeah, it was like
Interesting.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
no
I was
one
just
ever
curious.
gets this
Because that's how I read it. I was like,
And then
is
she
she
wasn't wrong.
understanding that this is happening, or is she? So
yeah,
that's
but she
interesting.
knew them.
Because
always
she just
thought
seems
she
like
did.
she's just totally bullshitting to me,
Yeah.
and then it like actually.
I mean, she's
happens,
just
and
kind
then-
of wacky, which
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
why you would seem
But like
bullshit.
Dumbledore is her advocate.
No,
so it's
yeah,
like,
but
it's like
that's
it
the- so
always
that's what
comes
I mean,
down
yeah.
to like fuck what Dumbledore.
But speaking
pulls
of
for
the
her.
man himself, Mr. Dumbledore,
Oh yeah.
how do we feel about the change?
It's weird.
Is it weird going to this? Yeah.
It's. I think it's written fine to him, but like it's almost like now I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't think this was like a different script if Richard Harris was here.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, well, like, what could he have?
Yes and
what
no,
could
it
Richard Harris
depends.
have not done?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe the way his lines were.
Yeah, I
were
just
No,
think
it's
more akin
absolutely
to
the way he
Delivery,
delivers
not-
it.
yeah, they probably
No,
improv.
well, obvi-
not what
and
calls
arrows
obviously
different.
delivery,
Yeah.
but I don't know. He was much more word. He's much more wordy. He
Yeah.
talks a lot more.
Well, no,
and normally instead of like Dumbledore in the first two says what he needs to say, and that's probably about
Now they definitely let him.
Make it its own a little
Yeah.
bit.
which is fine. I'm not
Sure.
But
I'm not
this is
bagging
also
it.
Dumbledore throughout the series gets more and more involved. So it was like a weird timing thing, but I think it could have been like if what was the previous actor's name?
Richard Harris.
Richard Harris. If he didn't pass away, like you could have seen him take the role of this movie and start being
Going
like,
this way,
delivering
maybe
more
going
lines,
yeah.
being more verbose, and start to see the Dumbledore that he evolves into. But you'll never know that because he
'Cause
never
it's just,
got to do
before
that.
they
Like I don't know if they
passed
ever
him.
filmed any of it.
No,
with
he
him, but
passed. I think before Chamber
Yeah.
of Secrets came out.
I don't.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
he did a few weeks before.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously, like I don't remember my reaction back in the day. I probably didn't even notice back in the
didn't.
I
day.
was literally
I
gonna
know I
say
didn't.
that. I
But
don't even think I did.
and then
either.
like also looking as a whole, we have him for what 3, 4, 5, 6. We have him for 6 more movies, right?
Yep.
3. This. I mean, no, we
Yeah.
have him for 6
Three,
total.
four,
Six
five,
movies
Six
six,
total.
Yeah, yeah.
7, 7,
Yeah.
8.
So
Yeah.
like he kind of is
Sure,
the
that's six
Dumbledore.
6 movies. Yeah.
So seeing him like
Eight.
on the rewatch, seeing him.
number 3, my lord.
Yeah,
okay,
seeing him on the rewatch isn't like a jarring thing because it's like, no, this is Dumbledore that
Seeing 1
Yeah,
and 2.
it would've
seen
been-
most
You
of the
finished
time.
with.
It
Seeing
would've been
Richard
interesting
Harris
at the
is weird to
time.
me. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if like
Yeah.
you're conscious and like as an adult, like I mean, like oh, this feels really different. But it's kind of tough with us. I feel because we've just been
We're just
watching
too
all
young.
What's
these
his
other
name?
movies.
Michael Gambon or something? What's
With the guy who plays him now.
current? Yeah.
Let me see. I can't remember.
Is it Michael
I just had the thing up. I can
something
probably tell you.
Gambon or Michael something?
Yeah, like it's cool that he knows about he's not really in this movie all that much,
Right.
but when he's in, he's kind of there for a little while. I think it's like most prevalent scene is like at the end with the time turner.
Michael
and
Gambon.
and he
Gambon. Yeah. Okay.
Gambon.
and he knows about it. And I was gonna mention with the time turner, like it's so funny how many times Ron notices Hermione come
They
into
did
class.
point that out too many times. I felt
Maybe like
too
6
harshly.
times.
Yeah.
But she's
But
but
do
like
you
she
think-
does just
No, I get
randomly
that stuff,
appear.
But do you think you remembered it at the like?
No, I just
No,
felt
I
like
thought
when
he did
you
a good
first saw
job
it-
of.
I
'Cause
just felt like it was
yeah,
like every
yeah.
class
I think they
he'd come
had
in,
to.
like he was like, where did she? I think they were afraid that people wouldn't.
But that's the
get
book.
it.
That's
Because
the book
no,
too.
I
because you
No, yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
notice.
No,
To your
I
point.
get
Because
it.
you wouldn't.
I kind of would have liked it to be a bit more subtle. But then again,
Okay.
this is coming from a place where I already know where that's
Rewatch.
You
headed.
know where it's going.
Yeah.
But like, I do feel like at the time, like I'm just like, all right, Ron, we get it. She just showed up. Like,
Did you remember it? Like having because I
Yeah.
imagine you two
Yeah,
having.
yeah, I know that.
Absolutely.
I know
I
that's
was
why
like,
you said
I was like,
that.
oh, that's why she's coming.
Okay.
In. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So you
no, I do
noticed
think,
it, yeah.
and again, in the when you're watching it the first time, it does work better because you're just like, why does he keep fucking saying that?
Right.
Like, yeah. But
Or if
Bloody
you even
hell,
noticed
where'd
it.
you
Or even if
come
you know-
from?
Because
Well-
they fight the whole movie, so that's
No,
kind of
you're
like they
right.
did a good
It's
job
true.
of for
It
first time
peppers it in.
viewers
Yeah,
blending
yeah.
it with like their usual
their
like
banter.
They had a lot of
Fun, yeah,
tension with
yeah.
Scabbers and then Crookshanks.
Crookshanks, yeah.
First time seeing Crookshanks, right?
that's when she gets them. Yep.
Yeah.
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 So that's
we
the first
already
intro.
we already said which animals we'd take, right? Was that something I said?
Yeah, that was
we
in the
did.
first
one.
episode.
Yeah, yeah.
First
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
It was a while
First
ago.
episode. Oh my god. All right.
The one we
another
did this
thing I have
morning,
a question
right?
on is the boggart.
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 What if
Boggart.
you're?
Yeah, Boggart.
What if the
Boggart.
thing you fear like I guess Harry kind of puts this into effect with the Dumbledore, like with the Dementor. He fears fear itself. What if you fear something existential, like a secret being found out or something?
Oh my
you know
god!
what I mean?
It's like him and Ron making out in the commoner.
It's just him and Ron making.
Like
Yeah.
Or it's like you're-
Draco is like
Draco
And bang.
And yeah, Draco's in women's underwear, like he's wearing it's just funny to think of me
Yeah.
of like
Oh,
you
yeah.
fear something really like
It's a crazy
a
thing
really
to
good
spring
scene.
on preteens
that's
or
what I'm
teenagers.
saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
someone's maybe in the closet and they're afraid to like
Yeah.
something like that. Like I don't know. It just kind of made me chuckle to think about.
It is a weird like shit Lupin. That's very
Wait, like,
trusting
this is
of
gonna
your
show my
students. Yeah.
greatest fear. It's
Yeah.
I have 2 points.
And
Remind
who
me
gets
to-
in line first?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Remind me to get to the second point. But yeah, the Boggart scene is great. Like Lupin is definitely.
Soundtrack,
I think
yeah.
it's Boggart, but I could be wrong.
It's definitely Boggart.
It's Boggart.
It's
Yeah.
Boggart?
Boggart.
Yeah.
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 I don't trust you. No.
Lupin is
Yeah,
definitely
sure.
like the best defense against the art teacher we've had. We don't really get a lot of Quirrell, and Gilderoy Lockhart, like we talked about last time, kind of sucks.
I can't wait.
I just realized they're all introduced before you get to Hogwarts. Quirrell in the Leaky Cauldron, Gilderoy in Diagon Alley, and then Lupin in the train. Which is really is that normal for teachers to take the train as well?
No,
I have no
I think
idea.
Like he's just like
as far as
he's
Hogwarts
just like
policy goes,
I
don't
think
know.
I think that's a protection
Yeah.
thing.
What?
I can't remember. I think that's a protection thing. Or Lupin's like just very
It's probably just like,
Oh,
well, I'll take
true.
it.
salt
He
of
also
the
is a
earth. Like
werewolf
just
and-
that's my way. I can get there. I'm taking it. I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So if you're a werewolf,
Put him
do
on
you
the train
have
with
to
all these
see the moon?
students. Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
Or is it like
I
if
don't
it's
know.
just a where?
I think.
I
It's,
thought you guys were experts on lycanthropy.
I think. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it might be.
I think it's.
I feel like it would just be
Like,
if it's
are
a
you
full
thinking
moon.
like with a vampire in the sunlight?
Yeah,
deal?
because like they don't get affected by, but of course that's.
I
the
think you
sun,
have
right?
to be outside at the moon.
It's hard to tell because there was no moon visible
That's
before
what I was thinking,
Hermione
so-
goes, Harry, and then like
Exactly,
they
so
all
that
turn
leads
and
me to
look, and then the
believe he has
moon
to-
rises.
To bring this back
yeah.
around to the boggart, I never realized when Lupin jumps in front of him, the moon appears, and that's
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
fear. I was like,
It's a good one.
I never
Do
noticed
you
that.
remember how they describe it in the book? Like they don't call it the moon. Like it's not obvious that that's what
kinda-
it
it's
is.
like an
If I
yeah.
remember
It's just
correctly,
like
it's
a
like
floating
like
orb.
a white disc or a pale orb or something like that.
Interesting.
And then he expels it.
Yeah, again, I would love to be able to go back and wipe my mind and watch this and be like, am I going to catch that? Like, especially as an adult.
Right.
It's very. They definitely lay those.
Maybe you would have
still
caught it
so
once you
rewatching
realized what he was.
Rewatching it's still
No, well,
so
exactly.
good,
Yeah.
dude. Like
No,
I was
yeah.
very
the
glad.
bits that are like happened
watching this
already, but like didn't like it's so good.
When you
I
know
think
the
it's such a
through
good
lines,
twist,
especially,
yeah.
you appreciate them as they're coming.
I think
Like,
it's
you're like, holy
incredible.
shit, I can't believe they
So,
laid that up and I didn't call that.
What
Yeah.
is the lore with the Dementors exactly? I don't really understand
In what
them.
way?
So they're
What are they?
They are almost like
Like wraiths?
In a way, like Lord of the Rings you're talking about? Like the
Right, that's what a wraith is.
They're kinda like-
they're essentially wraiths.
And
yeah.
they feed off of happy energy.
what would be the
basically,
right
Is
term?
idea
Like
happy?
they're almost like neutral, chaotic neutral
Okay, and they're like,
in a sense. Like
They're
they're not
like
necessarily good or bad, but they have a chance to.
and
But they feed off of good memories and
possibly,
stuff.
like-
Would
and
you
they
say
guard
they're
they
Azkaban,
might be they might be like
they
lawful
have
evil,
jobs.
like where
Yeah,
they
they could-
skew towards evil, but they'll follow direction under the right.
Yeah, because like later
circumstances.
on, like they're technically working, I guess, for the Ministry of Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How much
but
do you
like,
think
it's-
so
it's
they're
either
fucking
one.
What do you-
employed.
hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
The
Real
Dementors are
question.
employed.
What do you think they get paid?
Yeah,
Minimum wage,
exactly.
it's
right?
it's to
probably
guard
allow them-
Azkaban.
No, I
like
know,
that's
I'm
their
completely
payment.
joking.
They're
Like,
probably just get
yeah.
allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
with
No,
the
they probably
prisoners,
love
yeah.
those souls. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
they probably love
That's
to
probably
feed.
what it is.
So that's what they were gonna do at the end there. That was his soul coming out.
The Dementor's
Sirius?
kiss.
Yeah, and that
I
basically
guess-
renders you like
It's you're not
I know,
dead. You're
yeah, but
you're
you're
for all intents and purposes
like
like
a vegetable.
Yeah.
Mobility
Interesting.
might be a factor that you have, but like you don't have any memory. You're
Interesting.
You're
You're a husk,
you've-
basically, of a
yeah,
person.
exactly.
Interesting.
But they also, I mean, we'll get into. I don't want to say we'll get into it later, but yeah, because obviously we see
No,
what
keep go wherever you
later
wanna go
later
right now.
on in the
Seriously.
series. when
Well,
they-
yeah.
Oh, if it's
What happens?
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
so they're just kind of like magical creatures that are just
That are
tasked
in-
with
there's-
guarding
there's-
Azkaban, and there's not much.
Yeah, but there's
There's
also like
no-
enough.
yeah.
they-
My assumption would be that what they're gaining is the souls
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They
It's
get
like-
to
it's
feed on
sus-
people
yeah,
easily
sure.
and
Sustenance.
not be.
but I mean, they even still have them guard Hogwarts.
Yeah, and
Just
then
so
we
dumb.
don't.
There's
We
a
hear
trust
that, but we
there
don't
enough.
see it. You know.
Well, that's a ministry enforced.
no,
Yeah,
it is. It
yeah.
is.
So
Do they
Dumbledore
they're
sees
working
them?
for the
through it,
ministry.
yeah.
Like, or
Right,
they
right,
must
exactly.
they render them commands,
Yeah.
but they only listen to certain people.
Right, and Dumbledore gets mad at them.
Yeah, I guess they look at it as
Because like I said, they're like almost like a lawful chaotic.
dude. They're like
I think lawful
like-
evil makes sense.
they're like
Yeah.
animals. It's like who feeds me and who is like
yeah,
the authority here.
and
Like,
because I guess the idea is
who has the
maybe they
power
could
to do
act-
something about me and who feeds me? Yeah.
I'm assuming they could probably take them out if they want to somehow. The Dementors in some, or at least keep them captured in some way. Maybe
well,
with
that,
the Patronus.
yeah, well, that would be the
But then,
Patronus. Like that's
and maybe like the idea is like, all right, we can let you guys do your soul sucking, but you got to work at the prison for us, and that's where you're gonna do it.
yeah.
You know
it's-
what I mean?
It's like to your point, like we're gonna hunt you, or you can just do this as
This
your
and then
yeah,
leave it
free
alone.
reign.
there was
Yeah,
a deal
yeah,
made.
yeah.
Some
It's interesting. And then the
But
idea
they don't
like,
ever
that they just-
expound upon it. Like to your point, like there's not the
Yeah, I was
lore
just
is
curious
like
if there's
is
more
just
to it.
what you get. It's like they
Speaking
guard
of-
the prisons and yeah,
Speaking of not expounding on things, do we ever hear about Buckbeak at all more in the books?
yeah.
You do. Does he? He doesn't show up in the movies though at all, right? Again, am I misremembering?
Maybe later. I don't think so.
I really don't think he does. I couldn't remember at all.
I didn't. Buckbeak is kind of like a.
place would be the only place. Like Grimmauld place would be the only
That's-
place. I
that's
think.
the only
but I don't
thing-
think it's in the movie. No.
I don't
Hold
think
on,
so.
yeah.
No, I mean it's
trying to
not a spoiler,
think.
even if that, like just say like I just was curious. I just
I
didn't think we
remember
ever saw him
Buckbeak's
again.
part
Certainly
in-
in the books, though.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I was curious.
I remember
about.
Buckbeak's part in the movie being more. It is kind of a quick one thing, and then like, we're gonna kill him because Draco's a bitch. Draco got fucking cut, and he's a little baby about it.
fucking bastard.
Yeah.
I did think, speaking of the Dementors, though, that Quidditch scene was one of the better ones so far, in my opinion. I thought it was it was like fucking
The storm,
heart pounding, the
yeah.
storm,
Yeah, it was
them
cool.
coming out, him
They,
doing his
uh,
kind of his tricks and stuff.
There's a little in the books. Was a little
Quidditch,
bit
yeah.
more obviously about the Quidditch.
Sure.
Right. They don't. It's the
Bless
yeah.
you.
The
Thank
Quidditch
you.
game is not about the Quidditch. It's just about the.
We only get
Dementors.
one little game, but in the books, Hogwarts wins the Quidditch Cup.
Okay.
Which is
Okay.
they're the champs.
I think first time in a while.
Is
Yeah,
there
long
a Quidditch
while.
scene in every
and
single one of
Oliver
these movies?
Woods last year, right?
Aside
Probably
from
from not the like the 7th or 8th, but
1, 2, 3.
I feel like there is.
Is Oliver Wood?
4, no.
Oh,
Because,
really?
No,
Well,
four.
there's
the
a
World
flying
Cup.
Yeah, there's the
scene,
World
but it's
Cup.
not. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
Oliver Wood in this movie?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
He's like really not in it past this. Is the second maybe?
It's-
Yeah, the second
yeah.
one with Dobby, but like
well,
Yeah.
which he graduates eventually.
I think he wins the cup with them
And
in the
then he-
book,
yeah,
and
then he
he's like
graduates?
like not drunk because I don't drink, I
Yeah.
guess, but like he's like all jacked up because in the book because they
And they
won,
also
he's, like,
get
fine.
that's-
Finally got it,
so in
yeah.
the
butterbeer.
in the book
Yeah.
you get
they are pounding that.
we get the first introduction to Cho Chang.
right, Cho Chang.
In
Who you'll
this
come
movie?
who you'll
No,
come
in
to
the
know
book.
if you don't know. Yeah, in the
Oh
in the
yeah,
book.
yeah. Sorry, in the book, but
Yeah.
she's introduced in Order of the Phoenix.
And
Right.
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire.
Oh, Goblet of Fire. Right,
Yeah.
right.
But she's introduced in this book, and she's like
Which is next.
she's like the rival seeker on the
Yeah,
what's it called team?
Ravenclaw.
Yeah,
Ravenclaw
team.
Yeah, because they play Hufflepuff in the movie.
Yeah.
But
which is cool. It's
Ravenclaw.
not Slytherin
That
again.
is nice.
I
Yeah.
liked how they
Yeah.
didn't play
Good
Slytherin
stuff.
again. We don't really get much of. I mean, we don't really even get much of Slytherin in this movie. There's really no focus on the houses at all in this one. We see a lot of Gryffindor kids, obviously. Dean Thomas, is
boy.
back.
Yeah,
Dean
yeah.
Thomas. Seamus is
You got
back.
the names
Yeah,
down.
you kind of
It's a shame. Yeah,
you
I'm getting the
lose like
names.
the point system in the movies.
And Percy's there
as
for,
it
like-
goes
Yeah,
on.
it's more of a way to prove like a teacher's character. Like
Yeah,
it's
like
when
when
it's
Snape goes,
Snape
"Five from
docking and
Gryffindor,"
somebody,
yes.
which is
yeah.
fine. Like I think like if you included that stuff, it'd always be like
Right. Trite.
yeah, and it's kind of be like oh wait, they're still doing
Yeah, they made it mean something.
Right.
Yeah.
When that
But so,
happens,
yeah,
you-
sometimes it's
feel a certain
included for
way.
like a reason, like
Yeah.
and then like when we get other characters introduced from other houses, it'll
Right.
be clear, like Luna Lovegood.
But in the
But
books,
Cho
like
Chang.
in the books, you'll see where it'll be like, oh, we have potions with Slytherins. It's not like everybody mixed or like it's
You're mostly with your own
Slytherins and
house.
Gryffindors have potions at this time on this day. So it's like you're with
You're
one
always with your
specific
house. Yeah,
or
yeah.
one specific house.
Or okay,
Like
interesting.
it's not like
I
a
guess that makes.
it's not like high school where it's like a big
It's just everyone's
scramble.
mixed
It's like
in.
the
Yeah.
Gryffindors who are taking astronomy at 11 o'clock have astronomy with the whoever.
So that's why
at,
Draco is
like,
always in their classes together.
because like in the
yeah,
books
but
when
it's
they're
not
talking
always.
I'm
about
sure they don't have
it's
everyone.
a mix, but like in the books they'll talk they'll like roll their eyes and be like, oh, it's double potions with Slytherin or something like that, like where it's like back-to-back classes.
That's
like
interesting. So they
potions
really
and
do
thing.
probably talk about the classes a ton.
They
more
do.
in those
It's-
books.
it's
That's-
pretty
that's-
cool.
Like they
It's
talk about
pretty
their
cool.
schedule and things like that. That's cool. That's interesting. I love the minutia.
Yeah.
Did we talk? I feel like I might have asked this before. Have we talked about the paintings yet?
No, and I did want to ask.
You
so,
guys were asking about like the
Sirius,
That's what I'm like,
Sirius Black is the one who cuts that painting, isn't
Correct. Yeah.
he? Yeah, it is him.
Yeah.
He's trying to get into the Gryffindor common room.
Yeah.
Okay, because they never go back to that.
Yeah.
And I don't
I
think it's
guess they were
necessarily
It's
getting-
because it's not Pettigrew, right? Like
It
it's
can't
not
be.
him
No,
freaking
no.
out to try and get in there. It's Sirius Black.
I thought it was Sirius trying to get to. He was trying like
He's trying
for
to
the
get to
longest time-
Pettigrew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's also trying to like. Well, no.
He's trying to get into the common room or the Gryffindor Tower to attack Peter. Like
Yeah.
he's trying
He
to.
knows
as
he's
the
a rat at this
dog-
point?
Because there's a point in the book where he's like over Ron's bed or something like that. Because
man.
with a knife, and it's like Ron wakes up and freaks
Yeah.
out. And he scrams because Scabbers is with Ron.
Of course. Yeah.
So Ron wakes up. He's like, hey, I don't know if he calls him like Sirius Black. But like he's like, oh, there's something.
Sirius Black.
And they all wake up, but I guess he like transforms and then,
Yeah,
like,
into it and
runs
just gets
out.
out.
or
No,
something.
yeah, no. It wouldn't be Pettigrew because he gets access
Can
there
he
through
al-
Ron.
yeah, it
also
is
can
serious.
Pettigrew
Yeah.
change without being changed himself? Or is
They
he like
do
an
it to
anime? Because I
him.
see, I was curious, like why he had to use the wand.
No, he
to
can.
turn
Oh,
himself.
yeah, you don't.
Well, he's an
as far as I
But
know,
yeah,
it's
but
like,
does,
it's
like-
like an innate thing.
That's what I thought. I
Well,
thought like they
you
just
learn
do.
to
They
do it.
oh, I see. So
Yeah,
you
and
need
he like
anybody-
he forces him out.
because I know with the wands, right? Once you get to a certain level, you don't need a wand anymore. Like
that's
for
like,
some spells
that's like
or something
high
like
skill
that.
magic.
Okay.
Because you get to a point where you don't need to like
To say it.
the verbiage.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
yeah.
have to speak it. But like Dumbledore can do like wandless magic.
yeah, like he
Voldemort
was did
can
that,
do
like,
wandless
Aristo
magic.
Momentum or
Yes,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like the
yeah.
wand. I don't know if that's like a wizard thing, but like with the happiness can be found. Like where
Sure.
he's like playing with the candles.
Yeah, I think like essentially like the wand.
a lot of light
Channels it,
references,
right,
by
is the
way.
idea.
Yeah, it's like you have your
I
perfect
love that
fit.
quote.
It's your
It's a good
conduit.
quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I just said to him, there's a lot of light references in this movie.
For sure.
I mean,
That-
throughout the
that-
entire series, it's
Light and
it's
dark.
love and,
Light and-
right, but
light
like
and
this one
dark.
specifically because the Patronus is also light,
Yeah.
which we.
That's
I
nice
always
on
liked
the
that
I wanted
nose.
to save the Patronus stuff and the Peter Pettigrew stuff for last.
I mean, that's kind of what we're at right now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
that's just what I wanted to end on. My favorite scene in the Harry Potter series is the scene in the Shrieking Shack when they.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's
That's
really
cool.
good.
It's an important, very important scene.
And I think this movie is building up to, we talked about it, one is the origin, one is introducing the villain, two is the villain's origins, three is giving you the backstory of the people who fought the villain first. So we're getting Remus and Peter Pettigrew and Sirius and,
People from
and a little
Harry's
bit of
parents,
Snape.
yeah.
Yeah, people that his parents went to school with and were friends with, and
Right.
so we know that there was a betrayal, and it was Peter Pettigrew fucking, divulging that information to Voldemort.
So what happened between him and Sirius? Like, did Sirius think he killed him, or did he just frame Sirius was the idea? Like, he cut off his own finger and then went
the latter.
the latter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell because...
If you
He
want to
would-
break that one down, you can.
Yeah, so did they have a confrontation there, or did he Peter Pettigrew literally just went on the lamb?
I would say yeah, right.
Yeah, he
He did
So-
think he killed him.
the way the Potters
Sirius
made
Thinks he killed Peter Pettigrew.
At the beginning,
no,
right?
no,
Or
no, So like
no. He knows what Peter Pettigrew did.
but
So-
Lupin doesn't.
so
He
yeah,
doesn't
no,
know
so,
he's Scabbers.
So what
or
actually
alive.
happened? Peter Pettigrew is made the Potter secret keeper, and so what a secret keeper does is like they're the only person that knows X information. In this case, it was where the Potters are with Harry. Like their house was hidden. Dumbledore made them aware of like the prophecy, child born in July, whatever
All that stuff,
Trelawney's prophecy. So Dumbledore basically puts them in hiding at a secret location. Pettigrew, being one of the Marauders, is like trusted with the information of where they are.
yeah,
And
he was,
and then
he
he's
was
sing-
Gotta
close
talk
with
about
all
that
of
map
them.
too.
yeah, so then he's
Yeah,
singled
yeah.
out as like the weakest link by Voldemort or his followers. So they find Pettigrew and he basically rats them out.
Just
So
rats
the
them out.
only way that he could have known is where
No
they
pun
are.
intended.
The only way that Voldemort could have known where the Potters are is if Peter Pettigrew told.
Sure.
Which he
So
did.
so he did. Sirius, knowing he wasn't the secret keeper and knowing like Lupin would never have given them up, goes to find Pettigrew after the Potters are killed, and he corners him. And in like a street full of Muggles or whatever, he's got him like
Dead to rights.
dead to rights. And Pettigrew, like with his wand behind his back, blows up the street, like just fucking total like annihilates
so he
the
kills
area,
himself.
and it makes it look
Like he
that,
ki- yeah.
like Sirius attacked him, and he cuts his finger off, transforms and disappears. So all that's left is
So
Peter's finger. So
framing
the story,
Sirius and
so
then,
the story is that Pettigrew was obliterated, and all that was left was his little finger.
Right, which is what Fudge and that shop owner and
Yeah, they talk
say
about
Maggie Smith.
That nice exposition dump. That was
Madam-
the scene I didn't really
Madame
love.
Esmeralda, or,
And they
yeah.
turned that
Yeah,
into like Sirius was the one who
Yeah,
who
So that's-
gave up the
yeah,
Potters.
his whole
and then
imprisonment
Peter
is-
Pettigrew
that- yeah,
confronted him,
predicated on
and then he
that.
killed him for that. That makes sense.
Yeah, so
but Pettigrew still isn't like he stays in hiding for
12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't come out of his rat.
God, I
for
love
12
how
years.
Yeah.
I
From what
love
I-
how ratty he looks.
Yeah.
So ratty.
They did a good job.
It was
with
so
that.
funny.
I mean,
was
it
so
would, and it would make sense that he would be like that too.
Oh, of course,
after
you're like
12
in
years.
this, like yeah, you're in
Sirius
that
doesn't
mindset.
act like a
Or he's-
wolf.
Yeah,
like,
because
but,
he's
you
been
know,
in, he
he's been
hasn't
coming
been,
in and
he
out.
hasn't been a wolf though. He's been in Azkaban, like
Yeah, right.
No,
And
true,
he's
but he's
coming
not
in
like
and out.
living as
But
a
yeah,
wolf,
yeah.
exactly.
Right,
Like whereas
right.
like he's just literally living
Yeah.
as a rat for 12 years.
We didn't.
Yeah, God. No, I'm just thinking about your comment
about to
about
move
how much you love that scene in the
It's
Shrieking Shack.
it's
like,
good. Like
it
it
is
is because
the-
like
the-
a lot of characters from the past who know each other like meet, and like it's weird that like Snape is posed as the villain so much, even though he's kind of
Yeah.
not. And like we were saying, there's like unintentional. Or there's like they're clearly like acting evil, but they're not.
That's what I mean. That's the
Like I'm like,
yeah.
why don't you just fucking tell
Snape's
Harry?
cat-
And the way they're talking about it, it makes it seem like I'm like, well, they're not actually talking about killing Harry, but they're not making
I
it
know,
clear.
make it clear. Yeah, exactly.
The through lines in that scene are phenomenal.
No,
where,
it's great.
Where everything that is kind of revealed right there goes through the rest of the series.
12 years of it.
It's just
I can't
the
wait till we can
tone
talk
I'd
about
alter a
I-
little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait till
Yeah.
we get to talk about everything that comes from that, especially
Especially that,
Pettigrew.
yeah.
We didn't
especially
talk about
Pettigrew
the
stuff.
Privet Drive scene in the bus.
Were you gonna say something?
Not
before
that that's
we jump
much
into
to
this, when we
say
were just
on.
talking about all that.
Yeah.
I thought about something about the Marauders map, but
Yeah, we need to hit
I
that.
heard you like start to say something, then we were all going. So I just
I forget what I was gonna say. It might have been about.
The Marauders map's cool. Who
it's
is
sick.
everyone's code names again?
Mooney is Lupin, Wormtail is Pettigrew, Padfoot is Sirius, and Prongs is James Potter.
So, since we're talking about Lupin, how does he contract
He's bit when he's young.
Yeah.
lycanthropathy?
Yeah, he was bit when he was young.
Lycanthropy.
They tell you who did it to him, and he's like a Death Eater.
Mhm.
Like
Oh,
when he
it's-
was
it's a dude?
when he was young, great.
It's a
Fenrir Greyback is the guy's name.
Fenrir.
Yeah,
Wolf.
yeah, exactly.
Who we? That's the same guy from. We see him later on.
I was like, is he in
Yeah.
the movies?
More so, yes, he's in the
Yeah, he
movies.
shows the movies,
okay,
but we
cool.
like
You'll have to. If it's not obvious,
like they mention him obviously in the books more
Six
obviously.
heavily.
Yeah.
Six. He's in it a couple times.
And he's there in 7, and I think
Yeah.
he dies
What did you guys think of the werewolf design?
like-
eventually.
it's very. It's clear that they had the idea of he is transforming from a human into a werewolf, and that scene when like it's almost it reminds me of American Werewolf in London.
Oh, so, yeah.
That transformation scene is really like
The effects of it.
Yeah, like
Well,
really
even
body
just the
horror.
way it feels like it's hurting him too.
And even
Like,
in this, I'm like, they did a good job. I think it's like it's not obviously too gory, but like it's pretty gross.
Dude,
Yeah, it's a curse. Like that,
Yeah.
I think that's the way they portrayed it too.
I feel like they really do make him super sickly. Like it literally does look like more of a disease.
Yeah, I
Than
like
like
it.
Than like even like a regular kind of werewolf
it sounds funny,
transformation.
but they don't make it sexy. Like they don't make it.
No,
They
they
don't
don't.
glam it up at all.
Like he
It's
doesn't
like
look like he doesn't look like a
Yeah.
full ready to fuck you up wolf. He looks like this sickly,
it's
like lanky
it's
creature.
something like The Witcher would do with a
Yeah,
werewolf.
exactly.
Like where it's like
And he's really
this is
sad in
like
the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I didn't. I don't
Cowering it,
necessarily
yeah.
love it, but I do give it points for originality.
I think
and
it-
like I
yeah.
get what they're going. It
Yeah.
feels like
It's
a disease.
effective. It's
It-
effective.
It is. It
Because
feels like it's a disease.
You pity him.
I
You're not
hear you.
afraid of him. You're like,
yeah,
oh my
more,
god.
or
well,
even
you
more than
are,
a
but
cure
you're not.
or
like,
a curse, I should say.
I
But
hear
yeah.
I hear what you're saying, Trio, but yeah, I think like I think for what they were doing and like how they were trying to convey it, it works.
I
If it
agree.
was like if Lupin was for some reason the villain of the movie, he would need to look a little more villainous.
Well, no, and also
Sure.
if he turns into like the werewolf you see in like I don't know
Everything.
Van
Skyrim?
Helsing or
Yeah.
something,
Something
like
like-
he's
yeah.
like jacked,
Huge,
like
yeah.
I'm ready to fucking kill. Like I said, he just looks like he's like
Yeah,
like
sickly,
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna do it
But
again.
frightening. Yeah, but frightening. Yeah. I remember being like scared of that scene.
Dude,
when in
absolutely.
Third grade, like being like, holy shit, what's going? And Sirius Black is like the dog
Yeah.
when he comes
Yep.
over,
It's
like
good.
crests that hill outside
Great
the
stuff. Yeah.
Wampanoag. I'm like, dude, I was like, oh shit. And he's
No, it's
just
great.
going, yeah.
Hermione's call.
But again, and then Sirius just gets super. I feel like he just calms down a lot as soon as
Yeah.
they get outside. It's just like Harry, man, let's move in.
Yeah, it is a weird tone
It's a-
shift, and like I was saying earlier, it makes sense that he would be manic like that, but
To
then
a
he's
degree,
just like,
yeah, it's
yeah,
just
we're
a
good.
very
We're good.
Mm.
We're good.
But that's really my only
I just needed. I just needed to.
But and I think that's
12 years of it.
I think that's also kind of a testament to Sirius is like they don't
Kind
they
of
don't have
state,
they only have
sure.
so much time to like
Exactly.
to build on his character, but he's like
Right.
a generally happy person. Like him and James are always joking. They're like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there were
that
like if there were
doesn't come
four
off
we,
as
they,
much,
they were
actually.
pranksters. Like they're like so. I guess he's just like happy to be having a good moment.
No,
but to
exactly.
your point, like it's a
I
rush.
feel like I feel that
yeah.
more definitely in that second episode. Yeah,
when he comes
scene,
down, he's, like,
and he's
beautiful,
like
isn't
really
it?
kind of
Like,
talking
yeah.
to him, and yeah, no, absolutely.
relieved to just be done with it.
And like
So
he
thinks,
is like that's who aside from obviously like his parents, Harry and I don't know, maybe like Ron, Hermione, and Dumbledore. So like Sirius is like Harry's favorite person in the world. Post
He's
this.
another
Totally.
father,
See
almost,
later,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like he is like
his dad's best friend.
yeah, like
Godfather.
who he like really loves the most.
It's
post.
it's interesting that they
Totally.
call him his godfather because I was thinking about it. I'm like Godfather is like I mean correct me if I'm wrong, a more of a religious title.
Yeah, but
I think it is.
it's
I
not
think
like
it
a-
has become a bit more of a secular term
I don't.
in the way of
yeah,
like.
I think it might just be like a
It's a
secular
legal
idea
term now, I
too.
think, in
as
a way of,
well.
like-
Maybe you're right. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I'm like,
I
huh.
think it did
don't
originally
know.
kind of start though as like a
Oh
religious
yeah, for
type
sure.
thing.
But
Yeah.
I'd be curious.
I think it's a legal term now. Like it's actually
Yeah, like parents choose
But even that, like
two
I'm
suitors
But like
for their
my
kids.
godfather wouldn't have
wouldn't
legal
have
rights
taken
to me.
exactly. So it's kind of it's more.
No,
I think,
legally, I don't think so.
No, but
no,
that's
certainly-
usually
certainly
like what
would
the
not have.
idea of the guy.
Yeah,
the
I think
original
it's
intention of
back
the
in the day.
godparent
I,
was.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's actually like a more ancient's
Yeah,
not
it's
the word,
definitely
but like
an
it's an old
Yeah.
term.
Old term, yeah.
that
And I
meant
think now it's more just ceremonial.
Yeah,
Almost,
where like, and
rather-
in their world, it's like honored, I guess.
Yeah.
you know, like,
and I guess
so it's just like you could if you want to.
Just straight
like my brother Tom
Godfather.
is my niece's godfather. So like I guess like I guess maybe
It was
they
obviously
would,
a
but-
term that
right.
like JK
Yeah.
threw in because we all know, but it's just funny to think like Godfather, like there's not really a god
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
in
yeah.
the
Right.
Well, that's
wizard
so
world.
is
A
there
who
any
father?
religion in the
Yeah.
Wizarding World? Do they ever mention anything like that?
I guess
No.
the Death Eaters are like cult like, but
Sure,
they're
but
not,
there's no one like
They're
no
worshiping
one's
Voldemort.
That's
God
a-
or like
Voldemort's probably the most
tangible
godlike
belief.
character in
Yeah,
the sense that
Interesting.
like people have a huge
And maybe
following.
the
And I mean-
original, Godric Gryffindor are kind of like almost like
Jesus was probably a wizard.
yeah, probably that's
Probably.
probably their answer.
yeah, like
it is.
Godric
It's-
Gryffindor and Salazar Slytherin and like the house people kind of like I almost think they talk about them as if
I
they
think
are
how they're
That's just who
viewed.
they
legends.
are,
Yeah, how they're viewed now. I don't think back in the day they were
But
like
they're,
that.
they
just
know
kinda,
that they're like
founded
they
it,
have
you
like
know?
records on them.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah,
tangible.
yeah.
They're
even
not
though
as
they're gone.
mythological,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
are legendary.
But they,
Yeah,
nah,
the
I feel like
mythology's
they,
missing,
I feel
yeah.
like they talked about them as if they're mythological,
Well,
even
like
though they
looking,
were real.
looking at it,
They're
na-
legendary,
like,
but not
Looking
mythological.
back
That makes
now,
sense.
it's like
Sure.
yeah, they're legends. But
Yeah, how
but
far, how when was Hogwarts built again? Did they say that? Like how
I
like
think it's
how
like
old is it?
1,000 years.
1,000, yeah,
around
okay,
or
so it's
something
been around a
like
while.
that. You know what I think of like faith in Harry Potter is like Last of Us Part 2 with the cultists. It's not religious faith.
It's just like to get through.
this is what we
Yes,
have.
to, yeah.
So like the Death Eaters, to your point,
Sure.
like, they're a cult, but they're not like. It's something that you can kind of wrap your head around because it's like tangible.
yeah, they have
Voldemort's
like
a
an
thing,
also
but-
like Death Eaters have like an ideology that they follow, like with the pure bloods and
Yeah,
everything like that.
It's less religious than it is political,
Yeah.
I guess, but just as strong. Like they're doing crazy things on behalf of it. Like
So we talked about the time. Well, I wanted to mention the Marauders map. Did anyone have anything to say about the Marauders map? I mean, we kind of went over it in the people.
No,
It's
I
interesting
thought-
how
I
Fred
thought-
and George just like have it, like, and they
Yeah.
explain how they got it, but it's just like they just have this map.
did they say nicked it from Filch?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember.
So why does
exactly how
Filch have it?
he probably confiscated it off
He
some kid.
took it from someone else.
Yeah.
Like, not,
I feel like
they
that's
just
a
kept,
very powerful magical artifact.
Yeah.
Right. Then there's
That
just
is-
oh wait, I could be remembering it wrong. Did Sirius not have it and lost it?
I think they passed it on to like
some other
like
kids.
when they
And
all
then
left.
Sirius
Sirius
didn't
saw-
even know what it is.
Oh, Sirius saw it and he saw Wormtail, and that's when he was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, that's what it was. I thought it was the other way around. I thought Sirius.
no,
well,
you mean
Sirius
you
went
mean, you
and
mean
then he
Remus?
and then he.
Remus.
Yeah, you're saying
Oh,
Sirius.
Remus. Yeah. Remus.
Lupin saw it.
Yeah.
What, R.J. Lupin?
RJ Lupin.
I did
yeah.
think that was a great setup with when he's like, I saw someone on that map who I believe to be dead. And he's like,
Yeah.
who? Peter
Yeah.
Pettigrew. And like, I thought his
Pettigrew.
delivery of like,
Yeah.
that's not possible was really good. Great stuff. Like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
that
Wormtail.
actually-
like dismissive. Like
yeah,
where it's
like that's, you didn't see that. And
And
he's
then
like,
he's
well, I
like-
just am telling you what I saw. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what to tell you.
and then
It's good.
Yeah, he
Oh,
realized.
I know it. Wormtail. That's my World of Warcraft character's name.
Of
Wormtail.
course.
Oh,
Nice.
fucking true.
Yeah, my undead rogue.
Before we
Wormtail.
jump to the very, very end, did anyone have anything to say about the bus scene and like going back to
What'd
Leaky
you
Cauldron?
think of Stan Shumpike?
Is that who that guy's
Yeah.
fucking name is?
What's she doing down there?
How much you doing on that?
He's
man?
very like pimply.
That's how he is described in the book. I was actually.
Is it really?
making note of
That's-
that. Yeah,
that's
he's
so
like
funny.
He's like a teen.
That whole
or
scene
whatever,
is very like
young
interesting
20.
set piece. Ultimately, like irrelevant.
Yeah, it's just cool.
It,
scene.
well, every one of these movies has to deal with him getting out
and
of
that hunchback
we-
guy,
the night
what's it
bus
called?
is-
just
The
having
first-
a car.
The
out
night
there.
bus is recurring though.
Does it come back in the movies?
Probably not
Probably
in the movies,
but probably in the
But in
books.
the
yeah.
books.
but it's like so. It was like an
it's
important
like a thing
addition
in their
but,
world.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Okay.
they wind up utilizing
They
it
use
later. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very like goofy, lighthearted thing.
Again,
I
you
remember
guys are
that
saying
scene
like
dark
this
movie.
is stepping
Yeah.
into where like we get to these darker things. I really do think this is as perfect of a stepping stone to a darker tone as they could get.
You get
Because
the
I do
humor,
feel like you
yeah.
have those kind of more fantastical elements with that.
Yeah, like
but then you
even-
do have that transformation of Lupin
And
and,
then the book.
like all
Five
this shit.
five
Yeah.
is the Order of Phoenix is like the big leap. I think when the Tartan.
For me, I
darker
would say it was like
tones,
Goblin of
like-
Fire. At
like
least looking
end
back
of-
in
No, I
retrospect.
think
No.
Order of the
End of
Phoenix
4 is where
starts
it-
setting up.
Yeah,
the
end of
into
4 is
five.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say end of 4 is like fun,
Yeah, 'cause
lighthearted,
Cedric.
blah blah blah, and then
Like
like the
last
end of
hour
4
of
is like
it.
It's
shit.
dark, yeah.
But
And
then
I think
Order of
6
Phoenix
gets
kind
pretty,
of.
yeah.
Order of Phoenix is end of 4 is when it really the
Kinda
ball
kicks
starts
in.
You
rolling.
realize it's like-
Order of
Yeah,
Phoenix is
Order-
when it starts fucking going down the hill.
Like shit's
Well,
getting
yeah,
real.
yeah. Order of the Phoenix is when we start going to the end. Like
Or-
they're
yeah, it's-
building up, like
Like,
Dumbledore's
I was gonna ask
army
you
and
that's
Order
the
of
real
Phoenix.
Harry's test. Like
Yeah.
the beginning's like
He's
it's
getting into it.
impressive,
He's
young,
wetting
but
his
like
feet.
that's like blow after blow after blow.
but we were just talking about
bad
like
shit happening.
Oh no, I think I remember what it was. We were talking about. I said that Sirius is like probably my favorite, but then like whenever I think about it, Snape, man,
dude.
he's just so good.
I fucking hate him.
How do,
No,
so what do you
dude.
You
think?
don't like him?
He's the
Dude.
worst character ever.
He-
I hate like
that.
I
That
get,
What do you mean he's the
blasphemous.
I,
What do you mean he's the
wanna
worst
hear
character
about
ever?
like he's like this
Insane.
nice guy who's helping Harry. No, he treats him like a total jerk off
Because
the
he
entire
hates
time.
his dad.
Well, fuck
But he
him.
loves
It's
his
not his
mom.
dad.
Dude.
I
And
don't-
he sees his dad and his mom
I'm
sees his
sorry,
mom
it's
and
not
him.
a good. I don't care.
So
I don't like
there's
it at
two
all.
arguments going on here, if I'm not mistaken. Great character and great person. You're
Sure.
saying he's not a great person. You're saying he is a great character.
Yeah, to a degree, but at the same time, I don't accept the fact that he would treat Harry like that.
Why?
Because
Why?
he's not a-
Because
His
he's
dad treated him like shit.
Because like you would do that then too.
He-
You would do
he's
that
also-
exact same thing
Yeah,
that
but
you
he's
hated to.
but,
to
but, but in
like,
the
you're not
background,
even
he's
getting
also
any-
like
It's over the
I
protecting
top.
know,
It's over
but-
the top, but it's part of the ruse.
I
Yeah,
hear
it's
you,
part of
but
it.
like,
Like,
oh my
that
God.
It
I will
matters,
take.
it
But for
matters,
me,
but-
I don't. I just I hate him.
Yeah.
I don't like.
That's
him.
blasphemous.
That's where I'm like appreciative of J.K. Rowling bringing Alan Rickman into the loop of like, here's
Also,
where your
he is
character's
amazing.
going.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
want to say he's
Because
great in the role. Like,
There's
that's
scenes in
obvious.
this movie like when they come out and he comes out of the Whomping Willow and he's like disciplining the three of them and he hears Lupin behind him growling. He turns around. The first
I
thing
know
he
he
does
does. He gets very
is
protective.
Yeah.
protect them, and that just hit me. I'm like, God damn, like vulnerable as fuck, and he like doesn't pull his wand or anything. He just like, all right, like
No, he stops.
shelters them, and then like
The logic is not unsound. I just I get.
But
it.
that's
But
again
I
with
just don't really
with
care
the
for it.
appreciation of where it goes to.
And I
So,
get the
you
point
know,
of the ruse.
yeah.
Like maybe at this, but like I don't know. I'm just like you should be a fucking asshole.
So
And I-
good.
He's a piece of shit.
No, I know. And I get.
But like a
And
great
again,
character.
I will give him credit for
He's
being
an-
nice and protecting, whatever. Yeah, but
He's an asshole, but he's
but
also like
Alan Rickman.
he's incredible.
He is. He's great. I cannot argue that at all.
I think the way this movie ends is horrible on that freeze frame. It's so.
See, I always like appreciate
it's
that.
I-
What was the
Campy,
freeze frame
yeah,
again?
campy.
I
It's
can't even
campy.
remember.
He flies away on Buckbeak.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's
And he's
the,
like,
I don't know.
that's
Yeah.
like the last of it. That's like the sign off of like, all right, here's Campy Harry
Now
Potter.
it gets
we're leaving
now
in
it gets
3 and
real
we're
dark.
gone.
Get ready for it to end with a
Yeah,
death.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's a good way to look at it. But I really for this movie, just looking at it as an individual movie, like the end is just kind of like, oh yeah, like everything's good and we're done.
Yeah, like, even like
Like there's no send off on the
Not-
train. Yeah, there's no.
Right.
it was even as they definitely look older in this one. This was kind of like their not their graduation, but they kind of
Coming
this is
into
the
the
end.
adult-
This
no.
is the end of their pre-teens in a sense, especially with this sound off and where we go in the next one. Especially towards the end, like because shit gets real fast, and this is kind of the end of like when they got to start worrying about
Innocence.
shit.
The age of innocence is gone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I am looking forward to the Goblet of Fire.
I think
so
Goblet of Fire is, and I always thought this way. Goblet of Fire for like non-book readers, I think is most people's favorite.
That makes
Totally.
sense. I think that would
Totally.
be. I would agree. In that.
I'm trying-
Again,
like,
I think it's because I always felt like that's when it really
But
did
there's-
take its turn for
there's a
me.
ton
Like
of-
whereas like this feels like an adult
But
movie
also,
now.
there's like you get introduced to 2 new schools, and there's like the Goblet of Fire going on, and like all the activities and the events they're doing is like a shit ton of
if you
fun.
got-
I think from
yeah,
here
the whole
on, the
movie's
pacing
based
really
around
does
it.
just
Yeah.
get so much better. Like these movies move at a clip.
Yeah.
If you got a base introduction of like, hey, here's Harry Potter, here's the Weasleys, here's this person. You could watch the 4th movie and it's an entertaining movie.
No, I
Of, like
agree.
the task, the whole tournament, everything's kind of like self-contained.
Absolutely.
Gets to
completely
the
agree.
end, like there's obviously
There's some-
you would want to know what's going to happen after
Yeah.
with the way it ends, but like you can watch that movie and be entertained the whole
I
time.
agree.
So I think that to your point is like why people appreciate that one who don't.
And this was like the
1000%.
first real step towards the and like
Bit
you
more
said,
serious, yeah.
dude, the VFX was good in this movie.
Dude,
Yeah,
they still
yeah.
hold up.
Yeah, we
like
talked about
it. Yeah, I know
genuinely,
you
I know
mentioned
he
it.
said, but like Buckbeak especially. I know I said
I
it, but
mentioned that 2
the
was a
way
leap
he's
from 1, but
interacting
like
with
even
him,
yeah.
even compared to like Dobby in the last one, it blows my mind. Genuinely,
That's
I think
good.
ILM did a lot of this, but then they handed it over to some other production company too.
When we
ILM,
get
of
there.
course, for those who don't know, they did like Star Wars, like their big.
Oh yeah,
special
they're
effects
like
guys.
Oh,
the OG
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
VFX CGI.
Dude, the amount of
company.
like stuff that they've been I watched this whole video on it. They were patenting for like Avatar 2 is insane. It's like weird like particle physics and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
It's like
Quarter
the water
did it.
stuff. Yeah,
It's
they were
insane.
talking. Dude, it's crazy.
insane.
It's crazy stuff.
Is that this fall?
Yeah,
Avatar? Good grief.
And
I
dude,
thought
we're
it's-
gonna have
I thought
another-
I think it's in the winter.
yeah. I think you're right. December or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's different.
End of the year.
End of this year.
Thank
I think.
you.
holiday season.
But gentlemen, are you ready for some fun facts?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. So, Sir Ian McKellen had turned down the role of Dumbledore, having appeared as Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, He said, and I quote, "I had enough trouble living up to one legend. 2 would have been too much to hope for," unquote. Also, he stated that it would have been inappropriate to take Richard Harris's role, as the late actor had called McKellen a, quote, dreadful actor.
Interesting.
What a bastard.
Yeah,
I
know.
think it definitely would have.
McKellen's still in movies.
I'm glad he did.
I think it
he
would have
made
done
the right.
great,
I think it would have been
but-
fine. I think it would have been amazing. But I do think
he made
having
the
him
right
as 2
decision.
wizards,
gray hair.
Yeah, he's too well known.
and by that time, Lord of the Rings had already started. Correct? By
Oh, yeah.
2004, yeah, that was.
I think Lord of the Rings is done.
Yeah, I think you're right because they filmed all 3 of them at once, and
Yeah.
they released them.
Did
I
it
think
come
year
out?
after year after
Year
year.
after year,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So director Alfonso Cuarón had not read any Harry Potter novels and had not seen the first 2 films when he was offered the job as director.
That's kind of crazy.
But it was, in fact, Guillermo del Toro who told him to and convinced him to read them immediately.
What is up with
more.
Guillermo del Toro and convincing people to
Really
like
big.
do these projects? Like
well,
with
they're
Norman
both.
Reedus and
They're both
Dexter
like
Hammond, or
Latin
Silent Hill.
American.
Yeah, Latin American
directors,
and
I'm
also
sure.
guys who
True.
like that kind of fantastical genre.
Yeah.
It seems and stuff like
I
that.
wonder what Guillermo del Toro thinks of Harry Potter.
Probably,
Probably,
enjoys
I
it.
bet he enjoys
he
it.
talked Alfonso into
Yeah, into doing
he
it, so-
probably- he thinks highly of it enough.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just like
He
the-
told me he loves it. Shut
Yeah,
up.
he
Stop
texted
asking
me.
questions.
aware of his
Yeah.
fondness for music, Gary Oldman presented Daniel Radcliffe with a bass guitar when they had first met.
That's cute.
Kind of
thought that was kinda cool.
kind of symbolic of
No,
the,
I like that. I thought that was cool.
firebolt.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
true.
Yeah, I talked about how the director wanted them all to wear more like regular clothes
Mm-hmm.
to make it feel like a more lived-in spot. And like we said, I think that works incredibly well. And I think just the fact that you guys brought it up on your own and said that
Right.
really kind of shows how much it stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, during the filming of this, all of Tom Felton's robe pockets were sewn shut to prevent him from bringing food on the set. That fat little fuck. No.
Tom Felton.
Is his hair fake?
Bastard.
And this, I think
I
it
don't
might be
think
real.
so.
I think it's real.
I think all their
it
hair.
looks
It,
dyed in
it's
this one
weird.
especially.
It's, I
Wait,
bet
wait,
you.
in
I'm
what
sure
sense
they
is it fake?
dyed it and
Orange.
stuff.
In
but
what
I
sense
think,
is it fake?
dyed.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
it's dyed.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
thought,
But he
I
does
like,
have
but I don't think it's a
very,
wig.
very
or
No,
anything
I
like
know
that.
it's
Yeah.
not a wig.
Yeah,
No, no,
I
I don't think that's
that's
his.
it.
I think he probably already had blonde hair, but they just.
Yeah, if you
blonde
see him
it the
now,
fuck out.
it's
yeah,
still
he still
light.
has blonde.
It's
Yeah.
lighter than any of our.
Slight
either of
tangent.
ours, yeah.
I forgot he would play Dr. Alchemy on The Flash. He was good in that.
Oh, that's right. I
Well,
forgot he was in that for a little bit.
And he's
Yeah,
also
no,
in
it's in
what's
yeah.
last time I've seen him was in one of the
So that was like a full season, I think.
the sequel trilogy of Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. He is in
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I never did see War. I need to watch.
I
that.
never
seen
seen
it.
I
Those
love those
movies. Those
movies.
first
I
two movies
love
are
those
some of
movies.
the best movies out there. Like they're-
War
he's in the.
was good.
Is he in War? I thought he was in the second one.
No, I
Oh
think
no,
he's
you're
in
right. You're
War,
right. You're
yeah.
right.
He is.
He's in War.
Yeah, the last one.
Incredible, and CGI in those movies.
Yeah, insane.
During the nope, I did that one. The tattoos on Sirius Black's bodies and hands were borrowed from Russian prison gangs. They were
Yeah, I can see that.
they are markings which identify the person as a man to be feared and respected.
So I assume he got all those in Azkaban.
Maybe yeah, or some.
Yeah, I don't
too,
think they
I
even-
don't know.
they even
don't really.
I
mention-
probably
can't
go
remember
into
if
it.
they.
I would
talk about it,
imagine
yeah.
he did.
Dude, how like physical description wise for characters in the books? Does she usually go into it very heavily for most
They-
of them, or
like
is it-
You
something
get a
like
good
that.
idea.
yeah,
Someone
gotcha.
important like that you do.
You would probably get like a pretty
Totally.
in depth. Yeah.
I forget that
Interesting.
she talks about markings on it.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
So yeah, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the different placement at Hogwarts and stuff like that, with the actual locations and things like that. Alfonso wanted to have a better idea and establishment of the layout of Hogwarts. So to do this, they made one. They literally drew out Hogwarts. They figured out where like the yard is
The
in relation to the
greenhouses
Grand
would be,
Hall
yeah.
and where the Gryffindor house goes. And
Very
I
cool.
really feel like you feel that in this movie. Like the spaces feel
Right.
much more.
They're moving around them a lot more.
Right.
And they're much more
Yeah.
intertwined. Like it doesn't feel like you're just going from set to set and room to room. It genuinely feels like, all right, they're walking from the stairs to the main hall, and then they're going out from the main hall to the open corridor or whatever. Like
Right.
Yeah.
it's very well. It feels well.
And know
done.
what? And going off that, I feel like the directors who did the later movies.
I think he's done. I think he did all these after this.
No way.
No,
Didn't,
I'm pretty-
didn't
No, he
David
didn't.
Yates do something?
no, he didn't.
I thought he did.
Yeah, Penza was
Well,
just
I'll
looking
continue.
at it.
I was looking at his. This is he doesn't.
Did he do any more? I thought
I
he did
think
like
he did.
most of these.
I think he did like 2 of them.
No, he could have written. He wrote a bunch of stuff. I'll tell you right now.
He must have been involved in some. But either way, I feel like he was very key in making this movie that kind of step that you needed it to be. Like I don't know, like Christopher Columbus,
It's
you could
his,
feel
it's
that
his
tone.
only Harry Potter movie. That he
Really?
wrote- That he
Then who did the
directed.
other ones?
Isn't David
We'll see.
Yates involved?
Is it?
We'll
I guess
see.
we will. I really thought it was someone who did most of them. I just assumed it was him. Huh.
Because
Well, I guess we'll talk
Mike
about it.
Mike Newell did the next.
Okay. We'll talk about it more as we go into it. I thought it was everyone. All right, guys. I think. Oh no, we got one more. So Chris Columbus had originally signed on to direct every single one of these movies. However, he realized that by doing so, he would miss out on seeing his children grow up, and decided to pass the directing of subsequent movies.
Loser.
He remained on board for this movie as a producer, but after shooting Wrapped, he ultimately decided to end his involvement with the Harry
Really?
Potter
So
film
this
franchise.
is it for him.
Yeah.
I thought he was on all of them to some degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? That was probably a interesting
He
coincidence.
seemed to have made the right choice. No, yeah, I
Right,
think he's
but
like,
I think ultimately.
you think he
probably
gets
a
drunk
good
and looks
choice.
at his kids and goes, "Fuck you."
yeah, that would be funny. He sees
didn't
the
turn out to
checks
what I
that he
thought,
missed out
yeah.
on. He's
Yeah.
like, this wasn't worth it.
He didn't turn out
But yeah, that's it, gentlemen. We made it through. Prisoner of Azkaban. We're here. It's been a lot of fun. We'll be back for Goblet of Fire. But Gooch, take us away.
If you've enjoyed watching this, please do us a favor, share it around, let people know if you enjoyed this podcast, because I guarantee you for sure know a Harry Potter fan who's just like needs more Harry Potter content, because guess what? Ezra Miller ain't cutting it in fucking Fantastic Beasts.
He probably will be cut from The Flash, but we'll
And
talk about that later.
WB, yeah. And
Oh, well, but no, I mean, like, yeah, I guess, yeah, exactly.
You can find this podcast everywhere podcasts are found, and as well as on youtube.com/Delco Nerd Network. If you're not listening, or if you're not watching there, be sure to go over, give us a sub, like the video, maybe leave us a comment while you're at it. What?
Reviews, too, if you can. They always help us.
Yeah, what
On
Trio
podcast
said.
app. Yeah, all that good
yeah,
stuff.
you can review us on,
One
on the
star.
podcast app.
1 star or 5 star?
5 stars only, please. Thanks.
Yeah, that would be very
I
appreciative.
thought it was like golf. The lower, the better.
We have 18
Sure.
one-star reviews. They're like, this is the
This
best
is great.
podcast ever.
Ever.
Oh, gosh.
You can find us at facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network. Our socials at Delco Nerds, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I don't think I'm missing
You
any.
guys have any wicked TikToks?
we have
TikToks?
TikToks, yeah. We have
Yeah.
clips on there. Dude, they go
Yeah.
pretty viral on there for some
like
reason.
that.
Yeah.
I don't
I
have
told
TikTok,
you, dude.
but-
TikTok's
I only have
No, they're good.
I only have TikTok for
Nice.
DNN.
No,
No,
absolutely.
cool.
And I do feel
I
like they
heard
do a
you
good
say it
job of
before, I just-
interspersing it out, like in there, like really kind of putting us out there. But yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All for that.
Email. Comments, questions, concerns, things for the good of the group, delconerds@gmail.com. All this information can be found at our website, delconerdnetwork.com, where you can join our Discord, where we're talking about all sorts of shit, including, since we brought up Ezra Miller.
Absolutely. He's a regular topic.
He is. He is. Yeah, but all sorts of things. All sorts of things nerdy. Casey's in it. Penza's in it.
I am.
You'll see them pop in from time to time. And that's it, guys. For some reason, I'm blanking on the end. Thanks for watching. Stay nerdy, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, folks.